Go.
Hey, welcome back to Mobility Project. Today we're going to kind of apply this tunnel concept to solve problems. And sometimes people understand that we've talked about the tunnel before, that my start position dictates who I am when I enter the tunnel of movement and basically dictates my finish position. So if I'm in a poor position to start, I'm going to be in a poor position to finish. Here's the tunnel. This tunnel concept is flexible enough that it allows me to kind of diagnose problems. Now take a look at this. We've also said, hey, this is good mobilization. We call this MobilityWOD. If I can't get into a good start position, well, that's a good place to be working. And Mob2 is my finish position. And that's another second place to be working. So I have this kind of, really simple schema. I can work in MobilityWOD or MobilityWOD. Now, we like this tool a lot because this also helps me to kind of diagnose problems, and I'll work you through another problem tomorrow, the burping. Today's problem comes in, one of our athletes came in this morning, tricky going overhead. Now he felt like he was having a hard time locking out, and more specifically he was having a wrist problem locking out. When people have a wrist problem on the inside locking out, what's happening is that if they cannot clear the shoulder all the way and open up the wrist, then that wrist ends up feeling janked. It gets compressed here. So internally rotating the shoulder, that wrist gets compressed. So in order to fully finish this lockout, all I had to do was have him show me this position, and then I was asking myself, okay, so if this is his finish position, what is happening at the start to make that a difficult position? And let me show you. So I'm going to just kind of walk backwards here for a second. If I try to put my arm over my head with hand down, right, there's my finish position, except that I'm missing all of the external rotation. If I try to capture that torque at this late state under so many loads with so much demand, I'll never be able to create the same amount of torque. You can relate to this by saying, hey, if I'm in the bottom position of the squat, I can't magically get my knees out. I have to descend into torque so I arrive on a high tension position. So when we mobilize this band, for example, I always have our athletes create torque first. There's the torsion, there's the stability, and then apply it. You're like, oh, it's much tighter. I'll never get that same amount of tension this way. So if I extrapolate that into the tunnel concept, what's happening is that our athlete is trying to find tension at the end of the movement, can't find that torsion, which likely means he's internally rotating, or he's in a bad position at the start. And lo and behold, when I go back to his start position, which is the rack, so here's my front rack. That front rack, poor, disorganized, internally rotated position, low torque, not good stability, leads me into receiving in a overhead position of low torque. QRQE. Okay, so here's the deal. If I'm going to fix this overhead problem, I've got to address Mob1. So what ends up happening is that when we take a look, man, missing 100% of external rotation in flexion. So ostensibly what's happening is the athlete is internally rotated and soft and weak, can't jump and then magically create stabilization torque, ends up in a bad position. This is why a good coach basically is going to say, hey, I've noticed that you're pulling from this position, you're probably not going to make the jerk. How did I get there? Well, then I ended up receiving in this dreadful position, wasn't able to reset and reclaim an excellent high torque position, but for an easy lockout, ended up internally rotated, hand weak, and then pressing out into a position that challenged the wrist. So you can back your way into this. So, a prescription, of course, nice little tweak. Angel, can I borrow you for a second? Go ahead and wind up into the front rack position, Coach Angel. Go ahead and hook over for me. And then flip that up. Now take a look at this. Come on over here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Ask a question. Any question.
We're back. Hey, we're back.
What'd you have for lunch today?
So look what happened.
Toss about.
We put Angel. Did you guys just say effing liar?
Oh.
I didn't think so. That's a minus $100 fine for you. So here's the deal. When Angel's got this elbow up, notice how internally rotated he is. I need this hand to come around. Come over this side, Brian. Twisting, 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 twisting. It's this position we need to work on. This is that externally rotated, stable, tight position in the front rack, right? That's really what that looks like. A nice way to jam that in and create some additional fun leverage for my boy is to stick the lever in, and then he can apply a torque himself. Elbow in, keep that elbow tight towards your face, and then I can help guide. But he can also be pushing over. Go ahead and push over with the other hand. Can you do that?
That's my elbow.
Yeah, can you push on this pipe? That gives him another mechanic to keep that elbow out, and then wrist is flat. So what's happening now is Angel's being able to work. Why are you making that face, bro?
My jacket's tight.
Oh, my jacket's tight. Of course, that's what it is. You'll notice Angel's got his rib cage down in an excellent rack position. This cue just gives him
Working.
mechanical torque. The idea here is, man, what is the start position? Athletes having a problem overhead. It's not just about fixing that position. It's also about backing our way through that tunnel. I have to establish torque first. I can't reclaim torque once I'm at end range. MobilityWOD and a $100 fine.
Check it out.
See you guys later.